This is the official console controller Rainbow Six Siege operator tier list. Now, in my opinion, okay. Now this is going to look at utility, gadget usage, just overall impact. Okay, I'll talk about specifics of whether I think an operator has good ability, whether it has good fragging power. But for the most part, this is an overall ranking. Ash. Okay, I think Ash personally in the current meta is probably a B tier operator. Now, I play Ash a lot. Ash has very high fragging capabilities, but she jumps down a couple spots because the G36 got nerfed, so she does not have a 1.5 on the R4C. R4C is still a very good gun. It's one of my favorite guns in all of Siege, but her utility is very bad right now. Bandit. Bandit actually gets bumped up a little bit. I think Bandit is an A tier operator right now. The MP7 is a pretty solid gun. It's a reliable gun, high rate of fire, decent damage. But apart from that, his utility is crazy good. Bandit tricking is really easy to do, especially with Tubaru now. Bandit moves up because of the Tubaru, in my opinion. Their interaction is really good. It helps keeps the walls closed. Yeah, Bandit's an overall safe pick. He doesn't get banned as much as Cade. He's the easiest way to keep a wall closed. If you don't know how to bandit trick, you better learn because Bandit is super key. Blitz. Blitz is an interesting operator. He's really good if played correctly, if played with a team and in comms, in the right lineup. Blitz can be super useful. He could actually, in my opinion, be an A tier operator if played correctly. But for the most part, I think Blitz is a C tier operator. You do not want to play Blitz. If you want to go a shield operator, Monty is far more useful in taking map control. You cannot get shot at when you're full deployed. You do so much damage from explosives and whatnot. Monty is the way better shield operator, but in terms of fragging, you can probably get more kills with Blitz. You can flash people, you can do whatever. But if you're going a shield operator, you should not be going shield operator for the kills. You should really be going to take map control. Blitz, in my opinion, is probably a C tier operator. He's not that good right now. Castle. I think Castle. I think Castle's an A. I think Castle's an A tier operator. I think he brings more utility than a lot of people realize. Yes, his gun's pretty horrid. The UMP is not great, but it does have a 1.5. He does have a secondary shotgun to make rotates. He has beepers. I think he has a bulletproof cam too. Castle has an insane amount of utility. He brings 4 castle barricades. In addition to that, you have a 1.5 scope. Castle is super good right now in the meta. He is really good at anchoring sight. He's super high utility, not high fragging power, but he can be a game changer if you have Castle on the board. Doc. Now I'm gonna be biased. I spent like the first 3 years of Siege being a Doc main. I was pretty much a Doc one trick on defense. Um, but as unbiased as I can think of, I think Doc is legitimately an A tier operator. He's got a no recoil gun with a 1.5 on defense, stims that bring you up to 145 HP every single time. This means that if you're in a lower rank lobby, you can take gunfights. They most likely cannot shoot you in the head. You can get down to 50 HP and get immediately back up to full health. Same thing goes for your teammates. You basically bring your team 3 extra lives if you use your Doc sims correctly. Doc is super potent. He is not a support character. Do not get that wrong. Doc is a fragger. He has a 1.5, no recoil gun. He's got a shotgun to make rotates, lines of sight. If you're not playing Doc like a fragger, you're not playing Doc correctly right now. Fuse. Fuse is my first S tier operator, in my opinion. Yes, Fuse is not insanely good. Okay? Like, he's not like, holy shit, this is overpowered. Let's nerf him. But Fuse is super underrated. Fuse has insane utility. Four charges that if you go above, you can clear out the site. You can break so much utility. You can just completely break a site. He is super good in the meta right now. Because a lot of people run like running Mozzie, or they like Mozzie, Warden, these like 1.5 heavy operators. Sure, Wamai can kind of counter Fuse, but he has only so many discs, and Fuse just wrecks everything in sight. You can make so many plays off Fuse. You can fuse from above and have your teammates walk in a sight at the same time. You literally get free kills doing that. Fuse is nuts. He has an AK-12, a no recoil AK. It does like 40 damage with like 1200 fire rate. The AK-12 is nuts. Fuse is the first S tier operator on this list. Glaz. Glaz is horrid. I don't care what anyone says. Like, yeah, he's a good secondary SMG, so you can use the long range gun with the secondary SMG as entry. Glaz is not good. I don't care. I'm putting Glaz in D tier. He's not useful. He's not good. IQ. I think IQ is in the same boat as Ash. IQ has a very, very good fragger kit. She has two really good guns in the G8 and the 5.52. Dog's not bad, but it just doesn't compare to the other two guns in my opinion. But in terms of utility, IQ is kind of down there right now. Sure, you could pair it with the Dokkaebi, you could pair it with a bunch of other stuff. But we're in a fragger meta. Nobody really uses utility too heavily on defense. IQ would be much better in a competitive setting, like in Pro League or if you're playing competitive tournaments. IQ is pretty good, but she does have a decently good entry fragging kit if you want to pick IQ for the guns. That's why IQ is in B tier. Jaeger. Jaeger's been nerfed a few times. Jaeger's not nearly as good as he used to be, but Jaeger is still a pretty vital operator. I think Jaeger in his current state is probably an A tier character. Now he does not have a 1.5, but he has a very strong gun on defense, which is more than can be said for most people. Um, Jaeger's gun will always be good. His utility is a little bit weak, but he does have a bulletproof camera that you can use to get free info on a site, which you can also defend with the ADSs. ADSs are also crucial for mirror setups, shield setups, whatever. He's a very crucial operator to bring. He has good utility and a good gadget. Jaeger's definitely an A tier operator. Capcan. Now, Capcan is another very interesting operator. Realistically, you're getting 2 kills around with Capcan maximum, just based off of the traps. That is best case scenario. In most rounds, you probably won't even get a kill. I'll average it out to you get 1 to 2 Capcan kills a game. Capcans are interesting. They do waste a decent amount of the time if the other team doesn't drone very well. They'll have to clear every doorway and stuff like that. He brings a nitro cell. He brings a no recoil gun on defense. I would say that Capcan is also I think he's a B tier operator. He's very good in certain situations, but he's not, in my opinion, a crucial operator, and he's not game breaking. I know he gets banned a lot, but he gets banned mostly out of annoyance rather than just being good. People just don't want to clear doorways, they'd rather just walk in. Monty. I love Monty. I think Monty's an absurdly good character. I think Monty gets slept on. Most people have the conception that if you play Monty, you're a bad player. That's wrong. Monty's nuts. He's insane for creating space. If you have a decently good trigger finger too, you could probably get a decent amount of kills. It's pretty easy to just scope in and shoot people on Monty. If you don't know, when you're ADSing with Monty, if you look straight up in the air, you cannot get headshot while ADSing. So if you look straight up, ADS, and then look down, you can smoke kids. Monty, it's nuts. In my opinion, I think Monty is probably a B tier character because you need a lot of things for the Monty to go right. You need your team to be good. You cannot solo win with a Monty. You have to have teammates who are coordinated enough to know what you're doing. But Monty is a really good. You're basically a human drone who can shoot back. Monty is very effective. Mute. Mute is even with his nerf, the SMG 11 nerf that is. I think Mute is an S tier operator. He's a very do it all operator. He can deny walls. He can deny drones. He's a shotgun which can make rotates. He's a nitro cell. He has a high rate of fire secondary SMG. Mute is do it all. He is nuts. If you want to find a new operator main on defense, learn Mute. Even if you're really bad with the SMG 11. Mute has the MP5K. Yes, it only has a 1.0 scope, but Mute is very, very good. He's very strong in the meta right now. If you want to get a new operator main on defense, play Mute. Pulse. Pulse is very situational. You have to be playing Pulse with a team who knows how to stay alive in sight. If you're playing Pulse below and your team's dead in 2 minutes or in the first minute of the round, and so there's 2 minutes left on the clock, you're going to be useless. Okay, it doesn't matter. You can't do anything in a 1v5 with 2 minutes left. Pulse is very situational. And he's not situational in the sense that it's like a Monty or a Cap game. Those are very game changing operators that play correctly. Pulse is very hard to be game changing. You can be round changing, but you cannot be game changing with Pulse. And for that reason, I'm going to put him in C tier. He's got a pretty weak kit. Yeah, he can nitro from below, but he's very easily countered by IQ. IQ can see more than twice his range. Um, I mean, if you have a single drone below, you're not gonna plant on the soft floor. Pulse is very easily countered with or without a shotgun. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, and for that, Pulse is a C tier operating. Rook. Rook and Doc, very similar. I think Doc is slightly stronger in the meta because, like I said, you basically bring 3 extra lives with Doc if played correctly. With Rook, yes, you can self-res, but it's very rare that a self-res gets off and works correctly. I think that Rook, yes, it gives you 20 extra HP on everybody, so that's 100 extra HP for your team plus self reses for your whole team, but it's very rare that that actually means anything. 20 extra HP is one bullet. If that, most of the time, it barely makes a difference. I don't know. I just don't think Rick is that great. I think Rick is also a C tier character. Yes, he has a 2.0 on defense. That's cool. But in my opinion, Rick is really just not that useful. Sludge. The nade nerf. The constant sledge nerfs. Sledge is very out of the meta right now. The L8's an okay gun, in my opinion. I personally don't like the L8, but I know a lot of people do. I don't know. There's not much good to Sledge's kit. I think everything you can do with Sledge, you can do better with Buck, especially with the or not the removal, but the heavy nerf of the nades. Buck is just better. You can do vertical upwards. You have way, I don't know. You just got a more versatile kit. Buck's gun is better in my opinion. It gives you the option to basically bring a long range and a close range weapon with your shotgun. I think Buck is better overall. I think Sledge is out of the meta. I think Sledge is a D tier character. Smoke. Smoke has basically the same kit as Mute. However, instead of the MP5K, you have the FMG with the 1.5. That's actually a very slept on kit in my opinion. The FMG with the 1.5 is very valid use, especially if you play him correctly. I think Smoke is very situational though. I don't think Smoke was really good for denying map control or denying plants. But like I said, we're in a very fragger heavy meta right now. So Smoke has kind of lost his place in terms of the utility meta. However, Smoke does have decent fragging capability. He brings barbed wire. I think he brings proxies or beepers. I can't remember. Honestly, I think Smoke is probably a B tier character. I'm taking Mute over Smoke every day, but that's just personal preference. But yes, he's not horrible. Tachanka. Tachanka's interesting. He brings two very usable guns on defense. The LMG or the 9x19. The 9x19 with a 2x or a 1.5. Very strong weapon loadouts. However, the same thing with Smoke. We're in a very fragger heavy meta. Denial is not super important, especially the way it's played right now. Like I feel like people are just shooting down their fryers. They're going to Chanka. They got auto picked. They don't intentionally choose to go to Chanka. I think Tachanka. I don't know, because if you play Tachanka correctly, he's actually very strong. But I don't think I could place him higher than Smoke. I think they're very equal right now, like level and level. I think Tachanka's also a B tier character. Thatcher. There's a reason Thatcher gets banned a lot. Thatcher's very fucking good. He's absurd. He gets the walls open. He denies utility. I'm sure a lot of people understand how busted Fenrir is. He counters Fenrir very well. Tachank or not? Oh my gosh, I'm faded. Thatcher is an S tier operator. Thatcher is really good. The AR-33 or the L8. I hate the L8. I love the AR-33. It gives you two guns that are really good. But yeah, Thatcher is S tier. If you have a Thatcher on the board and you're not bringing him, You probably don't really want to win. You're not that passionate. Thatcher is that guy. Bring Thatcher. Thermite. And Thermite's also really good. I personally do not like his gun. I don't think he has the highest fragging capability possible. But that's fine. If you're bringing Thermite, you're probably a support player. You're probably not that concerned with the gun. You're probably more concerned helping your team win. The Thermite Thatcher combo is unbeatable. It's really good. But that being said, Thermite does need somebody else. Like he's not a one trick do it all. He does need a Thatcher. He does need pocket EMPs. If the person throwing pocket EMPs knows what they're doing. I think Thermite's really good right now, especially with the Ace nerf. Thermite's probably the best breacher, but he does need help. That puts Thermite in A tier. Twitch. Twitch is interesting. Twitch lost her vertical grip a little while back, but she still has a pretty good kit. She has smoke grenades, which can, deny lines of sight so you can walk in the site for free. She has a 1.5 scope, like insane gun if you know how to control it. I think which is an A tier operator as well. She's very good. I think she's more in a support role right now than the Fragger role she used to be because the gun is not as easy to control as it used to be. But if you're using the Twitch runs correctly, you can deny uh, utility, a whole bunch of utility, um, and you can deny lines of sight with the smoke grenades. Plus, you do have a very good gun to use. Granted, it's not as good as it used to be, but still, the F2 will never be bad. Buck. I think Buck, honestly, I think Buck is the, I think he's the S tier soft breacher right now. Buck is insane. He's got secondary hard breaches. He's got flashbangs. He's got a shotgun. He's got a DMR. He's got a AR with the 1.5. It doesn't matter what you bring on Buck. You cannot go wrong. Buck is absurd in the meta right now. He's like on 6. He's got literally everything you could think of in a fragger. If Buck doesn't get nerfed within the next season or two, I'll be very surprised. He's really busted. If you don't know who to run on attack, learn Buck. He's very, very strong in the current state. As I mentioned before, he's better than Sledge because he can shoot vertically. Uh, they can both shoot horizontally or like break stuff horizontally and downwards. But Buck can, if they're a top floor site, Buck can shoot out the floor and look up. This is really useful for popping mirrors, whatnot. Buck is super strong. The best soft breacher probably in the current meta. Frost. Frost, the Frost rework was overhyped by a lot of people. It's not as bad as people think. If somebody gets Frost mapped and self revives, they're basically crawling for the rest of the round. It's not, they're basically dead. It does not matter. The Frost rework did not change Frost. She's still very good in my opinion. Definitely not insane. Like if you bring Frost once or twice and people are still dying to it, you're probably in a super low ranked lobby. No hate. But she's very easily counterable. But she does bring a shield, have a 1.5, can make shotguns. I put her in B tier. She's not the worst, she's not the best. She's very middle of the pack. Blackbeard. Blackbeard's a D tier. His shields suck. His kit sucks. There's not much to it. If you're playing Blackbeard, I don't really know what you're doing. Like, there's way better options. If you're a Blackbeard main, I feel for you, bro, but Blackbeard is god awful. Don't play Blackbeard. Valkyrie. Valkyrie's very good right now. I mean, she will always be good. Yeah, you can't throw outdoor cams or whatever, but Valkyrie's still very good. She denies a lot of information. You can rotate your teammates accordingly. If you're stacked, Valkyrie's really good for playing below, but that doesn't mean you can only play below. The main problem with Pulse is if you're not playing below, you're probably messing up with Valkyrie. You can play almost anywhere and have value. Valkyrie's very good. I think she's an S tier operator. Um, I think she's an A tier operator because I don't think she can single-handedly take over a game. Sure, you could frag out like crazy, but her utility it's not game breaking. You get 3 cams. You also get 3 cams with Maestro. But yeah, you get a Nitro Cell with Valkyrie. But I don't know. I don't think she's necessarily insane in the meta. She's not broken. Capitao. Capitao is nuts. If you don't play Capitao, you should give him a shot. He's really, really good at cleaning map coverage. You get 2 firebolts, you get 2 smokes. It means you can fire out an area, You can smoke out that same area, and then you could just take site for free. You know for a fact that they can one not see you and they cannot play there either because they're gonna get burnt out of position. Capitao is really good. He has pretty decent guns. Yeah, they shoot slow, but they do so much damage. Um, in terms of his secondary utility, I think he has a secondary hard breaches. I think Capitao brings a lot to the team. Capitao is an A tier operator in my opinion. Cavi. Cavi is horrid. If you're playing Cavi, you're not like nuts. Like if you're nuts with Cavi, you're probably a specimen. You're probably an S tier player. But Cavi is not an S tier operator. Cavi is a D tier operator. Like Cavi is not good. Nope, just not the play. Echo. I don't know. I think Echo is in a very bad state right now. He has a shield. He has a 1-5. Those are positives. But on the other hand, his Echo cams, they don't go invisible. They're really easy to see right now. Like they're like, I don't know. They like light up so much. I don't think Echo's very good. I think Echo, honestly, I haven't lost a round in a to an Echo, and I don't know how long. He's probably a C tier operator. He's just not that strong. Hibana. Hmm. I think Hibana is very situational. I mean, or let me scratch that. Hibana is very situational. I don't think that. She is really good for hatches, like basement clubhouse comes to mind. You can open everything. You can open all three hatches. That's 12 pellets. You have four left. That means you can open up dirt tunnel. You can open up, I don't know. You have four extra Hibanas to work with. You can break mirrors. You can do whatever you want. Hibana is very strong at getting hatches. She forces defenders to like have to bring utility just to counter her. But that being said, if they have a Kate on the board, you need to bring secondary EMPs. You got to do a whole bunch of things to try to counter that. In my opinion, for guns, they're decent, but it's not overpowered. The Type 89 would be nuts if it didn't have 20 bullets. Um, but that being said, Habana is still very good. I think she's an A tier operator. I think she is. I think you could frag out on Habana. She has one of the better fragging kits in terms of support player. You got flashes, you got two pretty good guns. Yeah, Habana's an A tier character. Jackal. Mm. I think Jackal. Jackal's really good. There's a reason that Jackal still gets banned a lot too. I don't think he's as oppressive as he used to be. I don't know. Whenever I play Jackal, it doesn't feel the same. I'm not fully caught up on Jackal nerfs or Jackal buffs or whatever, but he doesn't feel as good as he used to. Now, they might have changed the time, like that the footsteps last for or whatever. But I still think Jackal's an A tier operator. He's just not S tier like he used to be. I think in terms of roam clearing, Dokubis are far more effective. Preset drones are far more effective. Um, yeah, I don't think Jackal's as impressive as he used to be, but he's still nuts. He's got a good gun. He can shotgun for rotates. Whatever you need to, he's got smokes. Jackal's an ATR operator. Mira. So Mira is kind of a head scratcher. She got nerfed, obviously. Like her mirrors break now to, I think they break to Callies, but they definitely break to Ash charges. But this means you have to bring a Jaeger, which you probably already did if you're playing a Mira. You have to usually bring Jaeger and Lamai. Um, but she's still very strong. Uh she has the Vector, which is a decent enough gun. She's got a shotgun for rotates, nitro cell. I don't think Mira will ever be a bad operator in her current state. I think she is a mm, honestly, I think she's a B tier character because she can get countered by a lot of things now. But I think if you set her up correctly with the correct operator, she can be S tier, A tier. But in terms of just overall, I think she's B tier in her current state. Legion is pretty good right now, in my opinion. He did get buffed. He has a super shorty. His goo mines. Can you see them from over? I don't remember how the goo mines work. I don't really play Legion. But they do the initial tick damage again. That means he's really good against shield operators. He really you can pair him with like frost mats and stuff for kills. Stuff you can do with Legion's actually pretty cool right now. But like I said, he's not gonna completely take over a game. I think Legion's honestly, I think he's a C tier operator. He's not game breaking. Ying. Now Ying is a slept on character. So Warden is in the meta right now. But if Warden gets nerfed and people stop playing Warden, Ying will be an S tier operator. But as of right now, I think Ying is A tier. Ying is really good. She has four candelas. You can flash out the site. Is it four? Might be three. But you could whatever. You could flash out the site. You have hard retreat. You have smoke. You can deny lines of sight. There's so much stuff you could do with Ying. You're a one man army if you play Ying correctly. Ying is game changing. That being said, they could go Warden and they could counter you. That puts you at a huge disadvantage because you basically have no utility if they bring a Warden. You're basically useless. But if they don't have a Warden, you're really good. You're in a good spot. If you're not playing Ying, start playing Ying. She's really good. Ella, Ella sucks, bro. I hate Ella. Ella has two guns that are annoying, if anything. Like they're not horrible, but they're not good. Her utility is the most annoying part of her kit. She's just a nuisance. She's neither good nor bad, in my opinion. Actually, she's pretty bad. Uh, in my opinion, Ella is a D tier character. You can be biased. You can think back to the old Ella days. She's really not that good in the current state. Zofia. The Zofia does bring more utility than Ash, but I hate Zophia's gun. I hate both of her guns. I think Ash brings a way more reliable entry fragger kit. Sure, she has more information with her concussion mines. She has a quicker breach with her impact grenades. But in terms of overall effectiveness, I'm picking Ash over Zofia any day, and for that, I'm putting Zofia in C tier. Dokkaebi is super good. She's absurd right now. She's S tier. There's not much to it. SMG 12. If you can't control it, that's fine. The DMR is still nuts. It's like a two bullet to anybody, pretty much. Just hit your shots with it. You call people. You don't need to drone as much. You can just walk around and listen for the phone calls. Sure, the phone calls can be countered by mute, but if they're near mutes, they're probably in sight. So the phone calls weren't really going to be that effective anyways. You know they're in sight. I don't know. She's really strong. You can roam clear super quickly. You pair with a Nomad Gridlock. You have map control in 1 minute. Dokkaebi is nuts. If you're not playing Dokkaebi, you're going wrong. Vigil. Uh, I don't know. I don't think Vigil's as effective as it used to be. It is, like I've said 100 times in this video, a fragger meta. Nobody really drones that heavily anymore. That makes Vigil less useful. His utility is not as good. Doesn't have a 1.5 like many of the other roamers. Does have two very strong guns, however. I think Vigil is B tier. I think he's middle of the pack. He could be better, he could be worse, but he's not bad. Finka. Mm. Finka's interesting. She used to be in the meta, super oppressive, super annoying. That LMG meta, that was cancer. That sucked. But after the LMG nerf, she's not nearly as good. She can, however, heal her teammate for 20 HP 3 times. So for a maximum value, she can get 300 HP. The same as Doc. But I don't know. Actually, no, I think is 18. You have nades. You have. Does she have gun? I don't think she has a gun six. You have nades. You have flashbangs. I think you got smoke in his movie. I don't know. I don't know what the think has. I don't play her. She's pretty strong. She's got 1.5 on the spear on the LMG. The spear's pretty controllable. The LMG not so much in my opinion. But she's really strong. She has a global ability, which means that you could be anywhere in the map and your teammate's weak. You just click your bumper and they're back up. It's super easy. Like she's not a hard character at all. I think it's pretty good. Lion. Lion is really good if he's paired with somebody. Like if you're droning or if you're entry fragging or you're working with somebody, Lion is nuts. Standalone, if you're just hitting lion scans out of spawn, you're doing nothing. Lion's really not that good if you're playing like that. But if you're playing in the squad, if you're stacked up, Lion is pretty good. He's got a no recoil 50 bullet AR. It does decent amount of damage. Doesn't have the best fire rate, but he's got good scopes. Mm, He's frag grenades, gone six, I think. I think Lion is a tier operator. That one, I don't know. I'm pretty on the fence about. He's either A or B in my opinion, but I think Lion's better than a few of these operators in here, so I think you can even bump them to A. Alibi right now is very underpowered. If you're still shooting Prismas, don't worry. Anybody does it. Everybody does it. It doesn't matter, bro. I shoot a Prisma and I hide behind a wall for like 5 seconds and then I'm good to go again. It doesn't mean anything to shoot a Prisma. Like there's no real like detriment to it. Like I don't know. I shoot a Prisma. It is what it is. I'm not that stressed out. I think Alibi is really bad. D tier operator. Um, Alibi does, yes, she does have a very good gun still. It does not have the 1.5 anymore. If she had the 1.5, she'd probably get bumped up, honestly, because that gun is nuts with the 1.5. She has the bailiff, she's got proximities. But in terms of her utility, it's pretty dog shit. So yeah, Alibi's D tier. Maestro, he did get a third camera. The problem I have with like a Maestro and Echo is it really relies on you to be on cams for a good majority of the round, which means your team is kind of down a player. Now, if you're deep in sight, it doesn't really matter. You aren't going to be effective anyways, as in terms of like an extra body. But depending on what operators your team is running, having a cam operator can be kind of detrimental. Like if you have a Vault camera, that's fine because your dead teammates can sit on the cams and contribute, but you don't get the full value of a Maestro and Echo cam from a dead teammate because they can't shoot them. I think he's good. Maestro is good, but he's not great. He's got the Alda, he's got that boom shotgun. I think his kit is slightly better than Echo's because you can pair the Maestro with like Goyos or I don't know. He's much more of a nuisance than Echo. I think Maestro is one tier above in B tier, but Maestro could be better for sure. Clash sucks. Clash is D tier. I don't really know what I need to say. You can counter pretty easily with EMPs, right? She's gone with pocket EMPs, Thatchers, Nomad, she's gone, Callie, she's gone. Like there's a whole bunch of things you could do to Clash. Um sure, if you're playing with a really good Clash player, you guys can make it work. That's fine. But for the most part, Clash is a bad pick. Clash is a bad operator. Yeah, D tier. Maverick is really good. I think he's a slept on character. If you're in lower rank lobbies, you can literally probably just walk up, solo push some random ass wall, make a map hole, and get a kill. Mav is really strong. He can recreate the map because you can make new lines of sights everywhere. You can force defense out of positions just by making map holes. Like you don't even have to play them. You could just make a random hole and then run away across the map, make another random hole, run away. You could just keep making holes, and the defense just constantly has to be aware of, hey, if I stand here, then they can see me because they don't know if you're playing the holes or not. Mav is really strong. There's no counters to Mav pretty much. Like, what are you gonna do? The only thing you do to counter Mav is kill him. I think Mav is S tier. Sorry, Mav is very good. He's got two good guns. He's got flashbangs. Yeah, Mav's a good character. Cade. Cade is strong. Cade is very strong right now. He's got that shotgun that does so much damage. He's got a 1.5, 2.0. He's got huge deniability if you play him correctly. He's the only one who can actively, effectively deny hatches. Yeah, you can impact trick some hatches. You could do a whole bunch of things, but Cade is very good. Cade's also an S tier character. Nomad. Nomad is she's the worst of the two flank watches, in my opinion. You get one more gridlock. You get gridlock covers more of a space. It's easier to put down gridlocks. And you stand up quicker from nomads after being hit. I think Nomad is not as good as she used to be. She's a C tier character, in my opinion. Her kit is very mid. It's not that good. I don't know. She's just not as strong as she used to be. I think Gridlock is the better flank watch option, in my opinion. But yeah, that's all I have to say for Nomad. Gridlock, I actually love Gridlock. She has two great guns, in my opinion. She has Nade, she has a secondary shoddy. She has four Gridlocks that are loud as shit, so you can cover plant. Um, don't use them for that though. Cover your flanks. Um, Make sure you cover them too. For the most part, I put two gridlocks on my flank just to be safe. I think gridlock is super good. I think she's an A tier character right now. She's not game changing, but she can be round changing if played correctly. I love gridlock. Mozzie. I don't know. I'm not a Mozzie believer like a lot of the people I see in ranked. Mozzie does have a decent gun, but it has 16 bullets. So you do have to be very efficient. Uh, Mozzie's secondary is a pistol. You get a nitro cell. I don't know what Mozzie's other utility is. If you're not using nitro on Mozzie, you're going wrong. The same thing with Mozzie with pulse though. With Valkyrie, you can kind of make like interesting plays with the cams because you could put them whatever wherever. But Mozzie cams they're kind of harder to hide because they're drones at the end of the day. So you can't just like stick them on a ceiling. But you do get the added benefit of the defense might not shoot them because they think it's, or the attack might not shoot them because they think it's their camera. I think Mozzie is pretty good. Mozzie's been stronger. I think Mozzie's middle of the tier B tier operator. Knock. I think Knock is very bad right now. She does not go silent when like cloaks anymore. Not she never went silent, but she does not get the sound reduction. She's got an okay gun. It could be better. She has nades. I don't know. I used to love Nox. She used to be really good. One of my favorite operators because you can make sneaky plays with her. No, not so much. I think she's C tier, potentially D tier. I wouldn't argue with you, but you can still make plays with Nock if you really set your mind to it. She's not as good as she used to be. Warden. Warden is oppressive right now. He's definitely getting nerfed. We see Wardens running around with rank, and that's because the MPX with literally no recoil has a 1.5 scope, SMG 12 secondary, and with the nitro cell, the ability to not get flashbangs. You're literally the anti-entry fragger Warden, A tier, if not S tier. I'm gonna put him in A tier because a lot of people don't know how to use Warden correctly. Warden's actually a perfect sight anchor because late rounds, that's when the smokes come out, that's when the candelas come out, that's when all this utility comes out. Most people run with Warden, don't get his full value. He's an A tier operator for that. But yeah, he's very strong. If you put him in S tier, I wouldn't blame you. Amaru. So people don't know how to play Amaru. That's why she gets a bad rep. If Amaru is played correctly, Amaru is actually very good. Because your whole team can be pushing a single side of the map, zip you Amaru zips through the back, and then you get a free pinch. Whether the Amaru gets the kills or her team gets the kills, Amar can instantly change the focus because you can get through a window super quickly. Sure, it makes a lot of noise. But if you drone correctly and effectively, Amaru can be a game changer. I think Amaru, with that being said, that is very situational. And for that, Amaru is a B tier character. Goyo. Goyo is interesting. The Goyo is good at area denial, but see a lot of twitches. She a decent amount of zeros, more than I'm used to. But I feel like people play Goyo wrong. They just put him on like the outside doorways, so the attack just shoots them down and stands outside for the 20 seconds that they would have been outside for anyways. Goyo, if played correctly, can deny insane amount of time, but Twitch can just one shot a Goyo, so it's like it's very hard to keep Goyos up late round. I think the idea of Goyo is right, but he's just not super effective right now. He has beepers and impacts, I think, with a 1.5. So he's got pretty good utility, but Goyo is one of those operators that sound good on paper, but it doesn't translate to in-game. I think he's B tier in my opinion. He's just not that great. Callie, yeah, Callie is just not D tier. She's better than Glass because she can break walls. She can break like a whole bunch of utility. That's cool. But like having a sniper in a game like Siege is like you're trolling. Like you can get insta tapped, and yeah, sure you can like one shot with that gun, right? But you can get one shot with anything in Siege. Does not really matter. Rate of fire is king in this game, and Callie's got the worst one. If you're really good with Kelly, you could probably pull some crazy shit off, but I'm not seeing anything nuts in Cali in high ranked. I just don't think Cali's effective. Who am I? I don't know. Well, my kit is better than the Jaeger's just because he has a 1.5. His impacts he can be rotates and whatnot. But I think Jaeger's overall more useful. He just breaks things instead of redirecting them. Um, I think mine's also A tier. I think they're kind of hand in hand right now. I don't think one is better, absurdly better than the other. One might slightly be better than the other in some situations, but for the most part, they're pretty level. I think Wumai is also A tier. He's got good guns. He's got decent utility. Yeah. Yana. Yana used to be nuts. She used to be the king entry fragger. Flashbangs, G36, 1.5. Unlimited drones. Yana is bad right now, just because the G36 got nerfed. If you like the ARX, that's great. I hate the ARX. I don't know, it just shoots weird. It's got a 1.02. There's no higher zoom scopes. Yana's just not as good as she used to be. If you're Shaiko, Yana's probably like an S tier operator for you. But for me personally, I don't like Yana. I think Yana gets bumped down to C tier. Oryx. Yeah, I don't think there's really much to say. Oryx is not good. Like he used to be pretty good, and he used to have a 1.5. Like you could roam around with orcs. Yeah, like right now, if you're roaming with orcs, there's so many better options. You're kind of, I don't know. You bring like no utility. Yeah, you can rotate, but if you're playing a good team, you're gonna get pinched anyways. So you're just gonna run into a pinch. I think orcs is D tier. Yeah, you can counter Monty or you can counter shields, but I don't know if they're playing the shields correctly. You're dead anyways. I think orcs is just dog shit right now. Don't play orcs. Ace. Ace got nerfed, but he still has a very good kit. His Selmas take a little bit longer to activate, which means they can get Bandit tricked easier. They can get Too Rude, a whole bunch of shit. Ace is all right. He'll never be bad, but he did get heavily nerfed. I think I have to put him in B tier just for the fact that I think Thermite is far better than him right now. Yeah, I think Ace's gun is better than Thermite's gun, but in terms of hard breach, that's both of their roles. Ace is just not as good as Thermite. Thermite's king in the current meta. You can't really compare Ace and Hibana. They do kind of different things. While both being hard breachers, Hibana it just isn't a primary hard breacher in the same way that Ace and Thermite should be. Um, and yeah, Ace brings breach charges and claymores. That's not that great for like taking wall. Like once you get wall open, you ideally want smoke grenades so you can clear the lines of sight and walk in. Thermite has that. Ace doesn't. Ace is just not really that great right now. Malusi, I think you get like 2 to 3 banshees. They're a nuisance, but they're really not that good anymore. They used to be busted. I don't know. I think Malusi is also CT. No 1.5 on defense. Pretty mid utility. I think you get impacts, but who really cares? I mean, she's not that good. Zero. Zero is really good situationally. Um, but I really hate these operators like Zero, Brava on defense, Echo, Maestro. Operators you have to sit on cams with because when you're sitting on cams for the majority of the round, especially on attack, you're going to be mispaced. That just basically means your teammates are going to be ahead of you. They're going to be further ahead of you, which is bad because if they die, you cannot get their trade, and then you're put in a bad situation because you weren't with them. You didn't get the trade, so then you lose everything you had. You lose the map control, you lose the man advantage, you lose whatever. He has great utility if your team plays accordingly. If they slow down for you, he's great. If they don't, he's bad because you miss pace with your team. That being said, I still think he's an A tier operator. He's basically like he has mobile Twitch runs kind of. You can put him whatever, zap cams, zap a whole bunch of stuff. He's pretty good if you know how to play him. Don't just play him if you've never played him before. He's not one of those easy operators. You gotta spend some time on him to learn how to play him. Aruni, she's very good. She has entry denial. She's got a strong ass gun with the 1.5. She's got an automatic rotate hole maker. Her fist is a fist from a punch from I don't even know how to describe it. She has a literal fucking boom fist. Like that thing is crazy. Aruni is probably an A tier attacker. Or defender. Oh my god, I've been making this video for so long, my brain has gone. is gone numb. She's really good. She's really strong. Not the strongest because rate of fire is king, and if you have a bad trigger finger, probably not the best Rooney player. But she has really good entry denial. You can use it for drone denial too. Sometimes they just throw the drones in. Yeah, she's pretty strong. Flores. Flores is like I said, I don't like operators where you have to sit on your drones on attack. Flores is interesting because you can break a lot of stuff, but it is so easy to shoot Flores drones. It's so easy to counter. You can counter them like Mozzies, you can counter them mutes. Flores is good situationally, but I don't think he's better than Zero because Zero Kims are like 100 times more sneaky. They last the whole round if you place them in correct spots. Flores does do way more destruction than Zero, but it's like a trade-off. I think Flores is probably B tier. He does have a pretty good kit. But it's not like a busted game changing kit. Like if you're playing Flores, you're probably one of the last people alive. If you're stuck in like a 1v4, you're not necessarily winning that, it's not like that insane. Yeah, it's all right though. Flores is like a very middle of the tier pack character. T-Bird, she used to be busted. She's still pretty good in terms of her healing utility. The spear is just it's not that good. You got no nitro, you got no impacts anymore. You do have a shield, which is strong, but you need to pair it with a Jaeger or a Mai. Um, plus the Bang 9. I think Doc is better in the current meta. I think T-Bird's probably, I'm going to put her in B tier. Not the worst, not the best, but extra health is always good. Especially if you're a lower rank. If you're lower rank, T-Bird probably goes higher because low rank kids don't really hit headshots. So you just run back to site, get healed up, you're good to go again. I think a mistake I see a lot of people doing is they put their T-birds separated. Don't do that. Like getting killed for 20 HP basically means nothing. If you're gonna play Thunderbird, just put them all down together. Like make a hospital so that you run to it and you get healed for 60 HP. That means something. 20 basically means nothing. Just stack them all together. If they get blown up, it's whatever. They're probably gonna get shot anyways. Stack them together. That's way more impactful. Also, I hate the way people play Osa. Osa is not a Monty. Osa is not a Blitz. Osa is not a shield operator. Do not walk with your Osa shield out. That is dumb. I hate when people do that. You're basically taking damage for no reason. You're a human drone that can get shot. Do not run Osa with your shield out. That is stupid. On the other hand, if Osa is played correctly, she's super oppressive, super good. We've got two pretty good guns. Osa is A tier. Don't play with your Osa shields out. I will report you for griefing. Thorn. Yeah. Don't love Thorn. I don't know. Her utility is all right, but like I rarely ever die to Thorn traps. You could just shoot them, or you could run away from them. There's so many things you could do. If you pair the Thorn, if you're really good with Thorn and you like shoot out the floorboards and you do some nerd shit, like what? Yeah, I mean, like you could probably like figure it out. But that being said, most Thorn players don't do that. I think Thorn is not that good right now. Thorn does have a 1-5, but I think there's better 1-5 options. I think Thorn is C tier. She's not the worst. She's not the best. Yeah, her utility is just not super effective. Azami. Azami is game changing. She's S tier. There's a reason that people want Azami to get nerfed. There's a reason Azami gets banned. Azami is nuts. You get 7 deployable shields that you can just make pixel angles in and be a huge fucking geek about. Azami is nuts. Azami is really good. There's not much to say, bro. She is S tier. If you don't think she's S tier, you're dumb. Sense is really bad. Sense, yeah, sure. You could pair it with the glass or whatever, and you can make. It's kind of funny, I guess, when you kill somebody, but like you do it once, and then it's like, all right, that's all I got. Like you just used all your brain power for the game. Like I don't really know. Sense is just bad. This gun's really not that good. He's got grenades, I guess, but grenades kind of suck. So yeah, I mean, sense just kind of sucks. Grim. Grim actually, his buff is actually pretty good. He's like He's not the flank watcher that I thought he was gonna be when they released him, but he does have two good guns. He has a bailiff. And yeah, you can force people out of positions. I think if Grim, if played correctly, can be really good. I legitimately think he could be an A tier character if you know how to play him. But for the most part, from what I've seen, Grim is a B tier character. He's not insane, but he's also not bad. Solus is S tier. Solus is really good. They need to change something about Solus. I mean, I've seen a whole bunch of ideas out there. Solus is very, very busted in this meta. If you're playing Solus and you're reinforcing, you're trolling. If you're playing Solus, the first thing you want to do is click on your visor and immediately go hunt for drones. You shoot all the drones. You can find where people are coming from with like the lines, the fincas, the whatever. I don't know. I've seen a whole bunch of stuff that you can see people with the diffuser. I've seen a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I don't know how much of it is true. I feel like people just say things to say things sometimes. But even if you can't see all like the busted shit I see on Twitter about Solus, Solus is still really good. She's really oppressive. She can deny plant from below, or she can play vertically, like, or she can play on the same level as you. Solus is just a do-it-all character. She got the P90. You can put any attachment on. You can put suppressor on. You can put whatever you want on that thing. I love suppressor right now, so if you can put suppressor on a gun, it automatically makes it better. Solus is nuts. She's really good. She's S tier. Brava. Brava just kind of sucks. Like, I don't know. Brava's really loud. Brava's really like it's really hard to hack things with Brava. If you especially if you're playing good people. If you're playing worse people, it's probably really easy. Um, that's no hate. But yeah, Brava's not that good. I like I said, I hate the droning characters. Like who people who spend too much time in the drones, so they're mispaced. Brava's C tier. She's really not that good. Sure, you can hack a couple cav cans, you might get a kill, but realistically, if you're playing decent people, they're just gonna see that they're hacked and shoot them. You can hack a Rooney gates, but I really don't think that's useful. I don't know. I don't think it's like game changing. Fenrir. Fenrir is busted. Fenrir is S tier. Fenrir just denies everything. Like he's so good. He is so annoying. My stack bans Fenrir in 95% of our games. We hate Fenrir. Fenrir fucking sucks. Fenrir is annoying. If he doesn't get nerfed, I'm gonna cry. Fenrir is S tier. There's no point to argue against it. Ram. Just in terms of pure fragging capability, Ram has to be above what's it called? Ash. It's the G36 with the 1.5. It makes so much noise. RAM is S tier in my opinion. You can insta break through windows and just hop in a site. What I like to do is I go above, I throw in a couple RAM drones, make so much noise. I go back below to that site, hop in the window with the RAM drone, and people never know because they just hear. And then I'm in sight with the 1.1.5 R4C. Like it's just busted. RAM is nuts. RAM is S tier. Tubaru. Tuber is also really strong. I have so many operators in S tier, but Tuber is also going in S tier. Yeah, they like nerfed his interaction with Bandit, but he can still really easily help Bandit trick the walls. He can help kids keep the walls closed. Bandit is really good. He's got a DMR that two bullets people with a 1.5. Like that thing is a fucking tank. And yeah, I think he's got a nitro cell. If you're playing Ram, like, or not Ram, if you're playing Tuberu and you're doing that weird like vert shit where you can see footprints, don't do that. That's not the play. Just keep the walls closed. And yeah, I mean, he's just really strong right now. They also need to nerf him. But yeah, that's it. This is my final tier list of every single character in Rainbow Six Siege on console. This is an overall tier list of fragging capability, utility, and just my personal opinions. Leave your comments down below who you'd switch, things like that. I'm always down to hear debates and whatnot. But in the current, what is it? Year 8, season 4, or year 9, whatever it is. This is my current tier list. Yeah, let me know what you think.